All right, guys. Welcome back to the source of truth in the Lord Jesus Christ's faith of the Apostles' Doctrine. So, I have a video. Oh, by the way, I'm Pat Pito, the disciple. And this is another Truth Over Tradition broadcast. And we're going to get it straight from the horse's mouth. Not the man that rode the horse, fed the horse, not where the horse grazed, but we're going to get it straight out of the horse's mouth. So, I want you guys to just listen to it. Won't be here very long. And this is about the Geno Jennings property, kind of like fraudulent, not fraudulent, but deceit. That's the word, deceit. You see? And I want you guys to listen to what Geno Jennings says, how he purchased this property versus him doing it a different way, but how he purchased the property. Let's listen to it. And this is coming from a Geno Knight, Tony Harvard. So let's check it out.
You understand? It's not when you want me to talk about it, right? Remember that on Friday or Thursday, whatever day that was, at Mr. Worshipers and your peoples. It's not when you want me to talk about it. You understand? All right, here we go.
No, he's very happy, and whatever people watch him, they happy and was calling him, "Oh, you got him now, you got him now." You wanted to paint a picture that Pastor Jennings done something illegal behind the scenes and used the church. Let me say this, viewers.
We're going to come back to that.
I've been pastoring going on 42 years. Not once had the church ever took out a loan to buy Pastor Jennings anything.
Now, right here, guys, y'all, I want you guys to listen to the mastery of his manipulation. Listen to it good. Listen to it good. He never took out a loan. The church never took out a loan or anything from him. Let him say that one more time.
Now, you wanted to paint a picture that Pastor Jennings done something illegal behind the scenes and used the church.
Deceitful, like I said.
Let me say this, viewers. I've been pastoring going on 42 years. Not once had the church ever took out a loan.
Took out a loan. He's using these right here. He's using this right here. Took out a loan.
To buy Pastor Jennings anything.
To buy him anything. He using the strong man or the straw man, took out a loan. But that's not what I'm seeing. If the brother made false claims, that's okay. But I'm not going to make a false claim. I'm going to tell you exactly the manipulation factor. He took out a loan for him. The church never took out a loan for him. Let's listen.
That's right. Not once. That's right. Church have never bought me a house.
Or bought him a house or anything.
Church never bought me a car. Our preachers against it.
That's right.
And I agree. If y'all haven't discussed it. If y'all have not discussed it, I agree. But you can talk to your church and congregation and say, hey guys, I want to do this right here. I want to come before you guys and do this. And keyword, come before you guys to do this. Now watch.
So he's clarifying that, the church didn't buy him a house, as, a lot of people may have thought of.
I don't think that. I don't think the church bought him a house. However, I'll give more commentary in a second.
Even some of us members' minds, or whatever the case may be. Right? We're going to keep it going. Here we go.
Now, you really think I'm going to preach against it and let the church do it?
Okay, so while that's on commercial, I'm gonna load up this guy right here, okay, in a second, and I'm gonna let you see how Geno Jennings, the guy wasn't lying.
Now,
He wasn't lying in the entire clip. I don't think he had the proper information. He had the information, but not the way he put it out. But Geno Jennings still was wrong. And I'll show you guys.
you looked up my personal information. He did that with you. What? He looked up my personal information. You know, I was living in Drexel Hill, and I wanted to buy a larger house.
Okay, now he's going to get into it a little bit
My
more.
wife. You know, most folk have goals, objectives. A dream house.
So now he's saying that him and his wife looked up a house, and it was a dream house, and most people have objectives and stuff like that, right? We go.
And,
I'm sorry.
So when I went shopping around, found what we want, I went to my mouthpiece. That's the old 1930s saying about a lawyer.
This is where the deceitfulness is coming in right now. You remember I said it's okay if you put it in the church name or whatever. It's about what he did and how he did it. This is key. Not everything else about the mortgage being in the church name, or even if the church helped him pay for it. That's nothing wrong with it. If you preach against it, something wrong with it. But if you open up with the congregation and you talk about it, that's okay. Where you're wrong is because now you went to get your lawyer's advice and how to deceive and keep it hidden. There you go, right there.
All right, so Mr. Worshippers, you said you're not from America, but you said you have been looking at the laws and what Jennings said was illegal. Well, you are wrong.
Not quite. He's not. He's not wrong in a lot of ways. Because Geno deceitfully went to a lawyer to make a certain type of transaction, and you're going to hear it from his own mouth. And the reason why, just like the criminals do, back in the old days, like he would say, that sold booze and stuff like that, they understand tax laws. So to manipulate taxes, you went to a lawyer to cover up how you was going to purchase that home without your congregation knowing about it. That's the deceit.
You are wrong, sir. You know what I mean? You say you've been looking at the laws. What, federal laws, state laws, county laws, city laws, or whatever the case may be.
Now watch, Tony Harper's going to even have a problem with it, but he's going to say it on a slick. He's going to say it on a slick. Watch.
You know what I mean? It's like me assuming or trying to find out something where you're from in reference to certain laws.
Watch
You know what I mean?
Watch this.
All right? At the end of the day, you're from the Bahamas.
You can be from wherever and understand law. You can read up on the law. Like the guy here said, he read the law.
You could Google something. I could Google something. Of course, a lot of us probably Google some things about it.
Y'all see the manipulation right here from Tony Harper? You see, he's discrediting this guy here without knowing what he have, what kind of context he have for saying that Geno Jennings did something illegal. You don't know that, Harvey. You haven't seen what he saw. or you haven't asked him to produce what he says, which is illegal.
Just be honest. You know what I mean? I could admit
I could admit
I Googled some things about it.
I Googled some things about it.
I did.
Why? Why would you have to Google something if your pastor told you that it was okay? And another thing, you didn't know until this was exposed. And then he told you all what he did. And you was okay after you Googled. And what did you Google? Did you actually Google and say that he was wrong, but after hearing him say he went to a lawyer to figure out a way to do it to evade certain taxes? That's called manipulation and deceit. Also, it's a business practice that America does. If you could avoid certain taxes, yes, but that's not what we're here trying to convey. We're conveying that Geno Jennings deceitfully did not tell the congregation what he was doing. And you're going to hear that first from the brothers that was with him for years, a few years, that was close to him, that was in ministry with him, were ministers for him. Yep.
You understand? Because it's very interesting. You know what I mean? Even I know some people in banking and whatnot. So what you're saying, Mr. Worshippers, it's not illegal. You know what I mean? It's not.
I'm pushing deceitful. I'm not pushing rather he was legal. I'm worried about the deceit. Not letting the congregation know this is what I'm doing. Period. Now that's a sin. Right there.
All right? Here we go.
I have a good lawyer. So I told my attorney what I had in mind.
Listen, y'all. See, when you say stuff like that, you don't realize you're going to have to answer for it if someone, a very good critiquer. You see? I'm a great critiquer. I can critique really good. I was in the music industry for many, many years. And I understood critiquing artists' music. Okay?
He said, good. Pastor Jennings, this is what you do.
Now he's telling him how to go about tax purposes. Why isn't Geno Jennings, or why didn't he tell the church what he was doing? This is the problem that I see you're in sin with.
I want you to listen good, Robinson. Amen. And now, please be sure there's a mirror nearby you, because I want to make you see how stupid you look.
Now there's the criticism.
Mr. Worshippers, you're coming off
Now this is the criticism right here.
in a way as if he used the church money to purchase the home.
And that's what I'm about to say, guys. No matter how he did it, whether he used his own money, that's fine. It's how you did the transaction, Brother Geno. It's how. Deceitfully, you went got a lawyer. Deceitfully, you plotted on how to avoid taxes, which we all want to try to do that, avoid certain taxes. But the problem is deceitfulness and not letting the congregation know that that home was in their name or the church name. That's where you were in sin, right there.
That's why I said it's not illegal if a person uses their own money. That's how you and the other individuals coming off as. Like he used the church's money. You know what I mean? Right?
That's how I would have thought too. That's why when you cover something up and deceitfully do something, people can assume you did something wrong. That's why deceitfully you're in sin for not letting the congregation know that was a plan you had going all the while, or this would not have caught up with you the way it did.
Here we go.
Greg, we need to talk.
All right. So let this commercial go by. I'm sorry, guys. I don't do editing and all of that stuff. Get it how it live.
You looked up and saw my house in the name of the church, and you
Right.
saw my loan in the
Right.
name of the church. But you never asked yourself, how did it get there? See, my attorney suggests, see, in America,
See. Don't skip the subliminals. Let's just go right to it, brother. You went to a lawyer behind the people's back, deceitfully, from what I'm listening to, and had this meeting with your lawyer to get the church so that you can avoid certain taxes. That's even a bigger. That's like it's even bigger issue because a preacher who's not a part of the government, like say that you're like you don't care about government and how they do things, you're gonna do it God's way. Like why you avoiding need paying taxes in a certain thing? I'm just saying, not that it's wrong. If it's law, you can do it, but I'm saying why you care about doing it.
I'm a clergyman, which is a modern term for pastor.
You know, even when I saw the video, whatever the case may be, and things like that, you know, and you hear something like that, and that's the talk of what's going on. Let's just be honest to us YouTubers out here. Let's just be honest to those who attend First Church or those who, you know, keep an eye out on First Church, the haters, the trolls. That was just the talk right there. Let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it clear. At the end of the day, all right. Especially to you, Mr. Worshippers. What's up to Sandra Brown? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. What's up to Mr. Liggins? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. What's up to
All right, he
David
getting
B?
hollering at the chat.
Shout out to you. Hope all is well. Dawn B, shout out to you. Hottie Jones, shout out to you. Dimple says, greetings, everyone. I've been waiting for this topic. See, he says, I'm so glad Pastor put Gary in his place and in straight embarrassment on his end. And you put LOL. What's up to La Holmes, Charlotte Ann? What up to TNT? Shout out to you. What's up to Tiffany Neely, Paris, Lady Shay, Capricorn, shout out to you. What's up to Patrick? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. What's up to G Powell? Shout out to you. Don B says, clearly Gary is obsessed with Pastor and clearly has too much time on his hands. What's up to H dot O dot you put, you know what I mean? I don't want people to get that misconstrued. All right. What's up to Suzanne Miller? Shout out to you. All right. Ed E. Brown, shout out to you. You says that Mr. Gary must truly be jealous about PJ. He really should repent and come back to the truth before it's too late. All right. As we keep it going with the chat room. What's up to B Holy? Shout out to you. Tari, shout out to you. Hope all is well. What's up to Miss Joy? He says, I don't know much about business law, but did the pastor put his house in the church name so he doesn't have to pay taxes on his home? ? Well, he talks about it in this video. He mentions that the lawyer recommended, you know what I mean, an idea. So we're gonna get to that point. For the most part, what's up to Endor, Herb Wise? Shout out to you. Hope all is well as we continue on.
And in America, it is legal and common.
Y'all see that? In America, it's legal and common to do what he's about to say happen.
That pastors of churches put
Pastors are churches, but you're not like these regular pastors. You're just holy than thou, brother, that stay away from the type of pastors you preach against. So it's okay now when you want the $4 million home. Okay, I see the deceitfulness.
their personal property in the name of the church that they pastor. You know why, Robinson? It's for tax purposes.
Right there just killed you. That's the dagger. That's the dagger right there. It's for tax purposes. So you deceitfully went to the church, your lawyer, and then went through the church paperwork because you're the founder of the church and put it in the church's name to avoid tax purposes because now you can claim the church is the senior of doing business through the church some type of way. You know what I'm saying? And that is very much deceitfulness at its core. Let me read what deceit means. As far as in Matthew's, the 13th chapter, verse 22, let's just see a passage of deceit. It says, "He also that receives seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and become unfruitful." That's you, Gino. That's you, Gino. That is you right there, choking how you preach by being deceitful. Period. Let's get this right here. Mark the 4th chapter, verse 19. "And the cares of the world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word and become unfruitful." Period. One more. Hebrews 3 and 13. It says, "But exhort one another daily, while it is called today, lest any of you being hardened through the deceitfulness of sin." Y'all want to see that back on the screen? There you go. By exhort one another, but exhort one another, daily, while it is called to the day, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. Gino, I'm telling you, brother, that was deceitful right there, bro. I'm going to actually do something even better. So now that I have did I get my e-sword up? Let me get my e-sword while we listen to some more of the tape. Listen to some more of this here before I let the brother tell y'all something that's going to be key.
I'm a businessman.
He's a businessman doing business deceitfulness in the church. He's a businessman doing deceitful things behind the congregation's back. Period. So let me hear this last few minutes and then we'll go to the brother. And I'll read the word deceitfulness.
So it was the suggestion of my lawyer.
Now he's going to cover up the deceitfulness. Like, you know how you'll say if you got in trouble with someone and you say, well, man, you be like, well, you and your mom and your brother be like, you say, well, Mom, Brian told me to do this right here. You see that? Like if I break something or knock something over, well, my brother told me to go get it and I hit the side of the chair and then the bowl fell on the ground and it shattered your very expensive porcelain. Y'all see that? Y'all see it? I know y'all see that right there. My lawyer is advice. Deceitfulness at its best.
Put your house in the name of the church. And if you get the loan, let me know. The church did not take out a personal loan for Pastor Jennings.
You see, that's all I'm really worried about. I'm not worried. I don't care if the church did it. I'm not saying that you will be in sin if the church did that and y'all came together and the church wanted you to, didn't mind, you getting this home and the finances that you make through your other properties, paying for the loan, and you can show that. That's fine. It's the deceitfulness for me. Now we're gonna listen to the other brother talk about what Pastor Geno Jennings did. Right? We're gonna go to that one there. Let me see if I can right here. We're gonna go to there. Then we'll get the word deceitfulness. I'll pull it up, and I will read the definition of deceit. Okay? So let's get a little context from the brother first. I don't want to hear him read the finances or whatever of the church and the declaration of the payments and stuff. I want to go right directly into how the ministers used to have these meetings all the time, and Geno never disclosed what he did. That's what I want to discuss. Let's see after it buff.
I have been in meetings as elders. We have ministered meetings like 3 times for the year. Every convention we have ministered meeting, and not one time was it mentioned in a minister's meeting that the church purchased a property.
Let's hear it again.
For this property, the church is paying the mortgage.
I'm not saying that. I want to get to this
I have been in meetings as elders. We have ministered meetings like. I have been in meetings
right here.
As elders. We have ministered meetings like 3 times for the year. Every convention we have ministered meeting, and not one time was it mentioned in a minister's meeting that the church purchased a property.
Okay, so Geno says that the church never purchased the property. Fine. That's okay. Okay, that's fine. But what I want to do is go to what that was, Matthew. We're gonna do that. I want to get the let me see if I can pull up the definition while I'm on my blue letter Bible, and get it right here. You know. No, we're gonna do it this way. Matthew's. Let's get Matthew's chapter 13. Right? That's where it was at, brothers. And 24. Hold on. We're going to do it. And I'm going to put it on my screen, guys. 22. Verses 22. Matthew's, hold on. Matthew 13 and 22. Actually, I want to read Hebrews 3 and 13. Let's read that one right there. Hebrews 3 and verses 13. I'm gonna pull it up on my screen in a second, guys. Y'all give me. I'm doing all this on the fly. I'm doing all this on the fly right now. Hold on a minute. I don't want to move that. Yeah, we're doing all this on the fly. So now I'm going to pull right here in my blue letter. Yep. I'm going to pull up my e-sword right here. I'm going to open it up a little bit more, guys. And we're going to go and we're going to dissect this thing right here. And it says deceitfulness. Let me see what the Webster Dictionary says. Right? Y'all see it on my screen? Y'all see it on my screen? Y'all see it on my screen? Right? And it says tendency to mislead or deceive as the deceitfulness of sin. Equality of being fraudulent as the deceitfulness of a man's practice. Y'all see that, right? Hey, let me pull it up on a bigger screen before I put that back up. Put it on this other screen here. Let's get it right here. You'll see it right here. I'm going to highlight the definition from the Webster's Dictionary. 1 and 2. I'll even do 3. Right there. The definition of deceitfulness, verses 1 says, let's read the verse 3 and 13. But exhort one another day by day, so long, right here, so long as it is called today, lest any one of you be hardened by the deceitfulness of sin. Y'all see that right there? Huh? Y'all see it, right? Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, there we go, right there. Let me get the little deceitful man right here on the stage. Cause y'all can hear his voice. You don't really need to see him that much. You can hear his voice. And there you go. So this is Mr. Deceitful right here. And let's get back right where he said that about his lawyer one more time. My lawyer said
that pastors of churches put their personal property.
What's up, Miss Joy? He says, I don't know much about business law, but did the pastor put it
for tax purposes?
Right. Okay, we can start there.
I'm a business.
Well, he talks about it in this video.
Let's listen to this part again.
He mentions that the lawyer recommended, you know what I mean, an idea. So we're not gonna get to that point. For the most part, what's up to Endor, her wives?
Yeah, we're not gonna hide behind the lawyer.
No more. Hope all is well as we continue on.
And in America, it is legal and common that pastors of churches put their personal property in the name of the church that they pastor. You know why, Robinson? It's for tax purposes. Right.
That's right there. And that right there, according to Hebrews 13, but exhort one another day by day, so long as it is called today, lest any one of you be hindered by the deceitfulness of sin. And then let's get deceitfulness right here. It says tendency to mislead or deceive as the deceitfulness of sin. 2, the equality of being fraudulent as the deceitfulness of a man's practice. The disposition to deceive as a man's deceitfulness may be habitual. That's it, bro. That's what the brother was saying right here. He said at any meetings that they had, they never talked about him getting property in the church name. Listen.
I've been in meetings.
They've been in many meetings.
As elders, we have ministers meetings like 3 times for the year. Every convention, we have ministers.
So every convention, they have ministers meeting.
Meeting. And not one time.
One time.
Was it mentioned?
That was it mentioned.
In a minister's meeting.
In a minister's meeting.
That the church purchased a property.
That the church name was on a building that he lives in. I'm not going to say purchase because I don't know what transacts inside of the bank, but I do know that it was deceitful on Geno Jennings' part. And that's all I have to say right there. And that is proof in the pudding. If a man do something and someone doesn't know and doesn't bring it out before them, if they're in let's say you at home and you do something behind your wife's back and you don't tell her, and it's legal, but you still did not tell her. That is called deceivableness. right there. Period. Cut and dry. That's what it is. Deceit. It's your boy Papito, the disciple. This has been another Truth Over Tradition broadcast, man. In the name of the ministry, man, community, the source of truth in the Lord Jesus Christ's faith of the Apostles' Doctrine, I'm your host. Appreciate you guys checking me out, man. But Gino Jennings, I must call a spade a spade. That was pretty deceitful what you did to the congregation. Everyone that paid tithes and tithes in that church and gave offerings and everything, you deceived by doing that. Now you're covering it up by saying you did not have the church purchase any property for you. That was just straw man. It's your boy Pat, man, and I'm out of here.